All right, bring it in 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Okay. So, I don't want you on your computer unless it's open to this or you're taking notes. If you have it open, just push it in front of you so I know you're not on it.
Allegory?
Yes, the one that has the allegory worksheet on it. Okay?
It should be allergy worksheet. Which one's the allegory?
Achoo.
The one that says allegory on the top.
Right there, buddy.
Thank you, Lucas.
Yes, do you have a t-shirt?
All right. I suggest on the front, you can take some notes. You have some space below the bottom or in the back below your Venn diagram. I would take some notes down there if we're not familiar with allegory and symbolism. Okay? Real quick off the tops of our heads. Yes, tops of our heads, so that makes sense. Does anyone remember what an allegory is or symbolism?
I know what an allergy is.
I have allergies, they're terrible. But we're talking about allegories, Lucas. Anyone remember?
I know what symbolism is.
Animal farm was an allegory. Yes. Okay. Does no one remember what an allegory is? Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, what's symbolism? Let's go with symbolism.
Symbolism is it has to do with something that like symbolize something or represent.
Yes. 100%.
Because you can't use the
job
to define the word.
So, like, a heart represents love, right? You can use symbols or objects in order to represent something greater. Leah, were you going to talk about symbolism or allegory?
Allegory.
Okay, what's an allegory?
Is it where the characters and stuff in the story doesn't it like symbolize something else and it's like something else?
Okay, Lucas, did you hear what she said?
Nope, I was busy.
Leah, can you repeat that?
I said that the characters in the story represent something that's not necessarily what they are. They're meaning something.
So an allegory is when a story has 2 levels of meaning. Meaning the author was smart enough to be like, I've got something else to say. So there's the literal meaning of the story, and then there is the interpretive meaning of the story. So, have you guys ever read like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Okay, have you read anything by C.S. Lewis in that series? Those are all allegories. They're all biblical allegories. Okay, that's probably the biggest example. So we're going to go through them. So I want you guys to think about, what do these mean? Look at these symbols. Let's start with this one. What does this one mean? Think of symbols.
Death.
Death, is that what you said? Exactly. That. So you would know if you saw that, stay away from it, right? It symbolizes it's a toxic or it would lead to death. Okay, what about the dove with the olive branch?
Marriage.
Huh? Okay, maybe marriage. What else? Noah's Ark. Okay. Peace. The dove is often. Did you check out the office? The dove can often mean peace, marriage, a lot of those things. That's the first thing we think of. Okay, what about this sign? Bathroom, right? We kind of all know that one. So, symbolism can use, this is exactly symbolism, something as small as this. Ryan, I will move you directly in front of me.
Okay.
Okay? Top spot, really. What's up, Ian? What do you have? Yes.
Well, I didn't
Am I not eating breakfast? Alright. Okay. A symbol is often an event, object, person, or animal. A symbol can be an animal as well. Lucas.
Yeah.
Okay. To which an extraordinary meaning or significance has been attached. So the one on the very left, any ideas what that is?
I think it's like Jesus.
Okay. Anyone else? So we're thinking it's something biblical, right? It might be a saint. Okay, what about the middle one? Roses. What do roses usually symbolize? David? When do you give someone roses? So Valentine's Day, or maybe when you screwed up, you gotta like give some roses, right? Okay. When you cheat, no.
That's when you screwed up.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Okay. On the right. The Statue of Liberty. What does the Statue of Liberty represent? Liberty, freedom, Are there, bring it back. Are there any symbols that you guys can think of that like really come to mind that stand for something else? Yeah?
Like, you see, like,
Yes, the gingerbread man.
If you see what American flag,
Yeah, exactly.
um,
Okay, good. Lucas, we're
Christmas tree.
a Christmas tree, totally, okay? What about the color yellow? Like if you're on the road.
Don't cross the line.
So yellow usually means caution, right? If you see something yellow, you're kind of gonna like be more aware. Those are all, they all symbolize something bigger than themselves. Good. Alright, so symbolism does not just have to do with literature, it can be with movies, with music videos. Symbolism is used widely throughout, okay? So we're gonna watch a quick clip, and it's, this kid loves film, and he's gonna go through a couple of films where the symbolism is really strong.
And ideally, it makes things... This week, I thought we'd look at a few times in film where symbolism has been used. Sometimes it adds to the story, sometimes it's unnecessary, but we're going to take a look at both today. Ideally, having something in the film symbolize something else will add to the storytelling. It should take things to a whole new level of abstract storytelling where what you see is not necessarily what you get. First, let's run through a few examples of symbolism in film. Some bad, some good. First off, bad example. 2014, a little film named Interstellar came out, directed by an unknown director, Christopher Nolan. Spoilers for Interstellar. Interstellar follows Earth in the near future where we've gotten to the point with so many disasters and famines that we have to use this wormhole that we've discovered in space to try and inhabit other planets. A main theme in the film is mankind treating Earth like crap while we're here. So we get to the point in the film, Matthew McConaughey and his team land on this new planet, and there is said to be another astronaut here who has killed other team members. He's said to be this monster of a person, and they run across it. They finally meet him. It's revealed to be Matt Damon, and his name is Man. Are you kidding me? In a film where one of the main themes is man polluting Earth, you have an evil character and you name him Man? That is so heavy-handed and obvious. I love Christopher Nolan, but he could have named him anything else. Smith, Johnson, Jones, any other generic last name. I get the attempt, but good God, why? Now let's take a look at a good example. Spoilers for Return of the Jedi. During the third film in the original Star Wars trilogy, Luke wears black. For most of the movie, he's in this black suit, and while he's fighting Vader and Palpatine, he's still wearing the black. Him wearing the black in the movie is a symbol of him maybe being pulled to the dark side. There were hints of it in Empire and earlier on in Jedi, so it all works. Towards the end of the film, though, he's defeated Vader, he didn't go to the dark side, he stayed on the light side of the Force, and his jacket falls open a little bit. And on the inside, the interior of the jacket is revealed that it was white the entire time. Bonus example of symbolism, spoilers for The Godfather. In the Godfather films, anytime an orange, the fruit, or the color of orange is shown in the film, a character's death follows soon after. The filmmakers never confirmed that this was intentional, but it's true, it happens. Anytime a death is about to happen, there's oranges. There are plenty of great examples of symbolism in film online. Go ahead and just read some. Some are confirmed by filmmakers to have been an intentional thing, some are just like theories that people have, but either way, they're all really, really fun to read. Reading these things are really interesting, and maybe next time you go to sit down and write, and maybe you think about this video, maybe you think about some articles you read, maybe you think about other theories people have, but sitting down and writing, maybe you think of a way you can add that to your script, a way that you can add that little extra element of abstract storytelling with symbols.
Okay, so did you guys get the whole man thing? The character is a symbol for what?
Oranges.
No, first story. Man was a symbol for what?
For man.
Okay, for the way that man has destroyed Earth, right? Just in the same way that this character is trying to destroy other men. Okay? Now, with the Return of the Jedi, did you guys get that? Oftentimes in movies and books, the dark and the light portray good and evil. That's really common. So at the end of the story, when Luke defeats Darth Vader, the little flap pops out and all of a sudden you can see that inside he was good all the time, even though he may have been pulled by his father. Yeah.
So basically, it's Easter eggs.
Kind of, yeah. That's a really good way of putting it. Okay. Think about, you guys read, we talk about this a lot, but The Outsiders in middle school. You guys read The Outsiders in middle school? Okay. Think about the meaning behind the greaser's hair. Remember how the greaser's hair was constantly just here? They all had this greasy, pushed back black hair. Okay, what could that symbolize? Yeah, so it symbolizes their poverty, right? And the difference between the wealthy upper class kids and the socials, and then the outsiders. All right. So why would you use symbolism? What would be the point? Why would an author do that? What would be the point of using like that scene with Luke Skywalker and the black and the white? Right.
Maybe for diehard fans to look forward to when they're watching.
Okay, so maybe to give the readers a little bit of a hunt. Okay, Janessa.
It shows like the moral of the whole story.
Okay.
It gives like more depth to it.
So it provides more depth to the read.
I feel like it helps with foreshadowing and stuff.
Okay, so literary elements, right? Okay, good. Anyone else? So, a couple things to add. So, it lets writers have multiple meanings, right? If I can give you little Easter eggs, little hints, it gives me the ability to provide a deeper meaning without just giving you the literal story. Alright? Symbols allow writers to convey an idea with layers of meaning without having to explain those layers in the text. Also, if there's a symbol for one thing, does that mean that there's one interpretation? No. Everyone can have different interpretations of what a symbol means, which makes it kind of cool because then you have your own idea of the story or the movie, you have your own experience. That's why people like different themes, right? Okay, of Mice and Men. I want you guys to think about this. You read this last year. Anyone not read this last year? Okay, you haven't read it. Really?
Oh, wait.
Okay. So the farm Lenny and George hoped to own one day. What was that a symbol for? They constantly talked about the farm they wanted to own one day. Yeah.
Land.
Okay, so the land was a symbol for land? Can you give me more?
Them buying, not like land literally, but like freedom.
Okay. So the way I interpret it was the American dream, right? They always talked about wanting to have this farm, but they were poor. They would never own land. Which kind of connects to the time period when the American dream was kind of impossible. That's when the Great Depression hit, and all those hopes and dreams were kind of just spewed out. Okay, the mouse. What would the mouse have symbolized? Remember, he constantly would kill the mice in his pocket? You guys remember the mouse? Remember in the very beginning, he always wanted to touch things, but he wasn't gentle enough, so he would kill them. He would kill a bunny, he killed a mice, he killed Curly's wife. Okay? What could the mice, what could the mouse have been a symbol for? Okay. So maybe the harshness of the times. Maybe it goes back to the American dream again. Maybe it goes back to Lenny's disability. What about Candy's dog? Do you guys remember when Candy's dog is shot? Okay. What could Candy's dog be a symbol for? There was a very strong parallel in Of Mice and Men between Candy's dog and who? The puppy, yes, but Candy, remember, Candy was an old man who only had a certain number of time left to work. So when they killed the dog, it was a symbol for old workers on the farm. You have to be young, and if you're old, you're just going to be put out your misery like a dog. Okay? So those all add layers of meaning to a text. That's what symbols do. All right, allegory. Aiden, can you read that for me?
Allegory is
Okay, so, again, Ryan. An allegory is a story in which the characters in the entire story has two meanings. There's the literal meaning, and then there's, like, the significant meaning, okay? So, it says, in some types of allegories, the characters in the setting represent abstract ideas of moral qualities. So abstract means it's not touchable, right? So the idea or the concept is kind of far-fetched. It's not literal. That's just what it means. There's a literal meaning and then a separate meaning. Okay? We're going to talk about some examples. Okay. An allegory can be read for its literal meaning and then the symbolic meaning. We talked about that. All right. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Every detail is representative of a literal storyline, and then it also represents the biblical storyline of Jesus' execution. Okay? So there's two meanings. Bless you! Now, Yertle the turtle, does anyone read that? Okay, so in Yertle the turtle, the top turtle wants to be the highest point in all of the society, okay? So he constantly makes all the other turtles in the society stack up on top of each other so that he can be the top, okay? When the person on the bottom sneezes, they all fall down, he gets mad and all this stuff. It is an allegory for Hitler. This turtle is supposed to be Hitler. So the whole story is talking about Nazi Germany and how they just topple humans, okay? Now, the Butter Battle Book. Anyone remember that one? Do you remember what happens in the Butter Battle Book? You ever read that one? See, guys, I constantly just reading Dr. Seuss to my kid now, so all my examples are Dr.
I never
Seuss.
read the Lion King.
I have it here if you want to read it. So it's
Isn't
quick read.
the Butter Battle Book the one where, like, some of the people want, like, butter their bread right side up and the other one like butter upside down and like battle?
Okay, Nathan, what did Janessa just say?
Sorry, I was looking at the line that was I thought it was like Mario.
It is, yes. Janessa, can you repeat that so he can hear?
Well, half of the people in the book want to butter their bread right side up, and the other half want to butter it upside down. So then they like have a battle to see which is the right way to butter bread.
Okay, so these two societies, one butters their bread right side up and the other doesn't. Okay, so they have differences, correct?
Those are all saying the bread buttered out.
Yes. So that's not the point of the story.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Okay, right.
That's all we did.
Hold on.
Wait, I have one. What was it?
Hold on. I'm going to continue the story, then you can talk, okay? Now, they're so different and they're arguing all the time that both societies start to have an arms race. They start to build these weapons and technological innovations in order to battle each other, okay? This book was written like 30, 40 years ago. So think about the allegory. What is the allegory? What is it supposed to represent? No. What happened? You guys remember world history, right? Have you gotten to the Cold War?
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
The Cold War between the United States and Russia, when it started becoming an arms race where we started building weapons, and even though there was no actual physical confrontation, it was a Cold War because there was constantly battling to get to the moon first. The space race, yes. The first to build nuclear weapons. This was supposed to represent how silly and stupid it really was, okay? So an allegory has another level to the story. So you can be like, yeah, it's a kid's book, Aiden, about differences, but the author intended it to have a more symbolic meaning about the arms race, okay? So, sometimes they can be confused, so I want you guys to take a look at this chart really quick. On the left, okay, it talks about allegory. So it's a story in which it can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning. We've talked about that. It's an entire story. That's the difference, okay? Symbolism is the method of representing things by symbols. So allegory is a story that has a second meaning, and a symbol is a thing that has a separate meaning. That's the difference, okay? Aiden, will you repeat what I just said?
Allegory is a story.
Good. Okay. So allegory is a narrative. Symbolism is a literary device. So remember, story versus device. An allegory is created by using symbolism, and symbolism is the literary device that adds an allegorical meaning to the text. Okay? So allegory, whole picture. Symbolism, small things that add up to the big picture. Okay? Hi, Zayla. Did you check into the office then?
No, I was in math.
Okay, that's fine. Alright, so here's what I want you guys to keep in mind as you read Lord of the Flies. Ryan? Lord of the Flies is an allegory. Okay? Follow me when I say that. Lord of the Flies is an allegory. It can be an allegory for like 11 different things. So as you guys read, I want you to kind of figure out, what do you think the allegory is? What do you think the symbolic meaning of the story is? It's not just about some kids stranded on an island. Okay? Each character represents someone else. Right? Okay. So, if you go back to your module for today, on your packet on page 1, you have an allegory worksheet, okay? So to make sure that you understand what an allegory is, this is what I'm asking you to do. So you're going to choose one of the following morals at the top, or make your own, just write it in. So a couple that I picked were: be accountable and take responsibility, treat others as you want to be treated, he is wise who was warned by the misfortunes of others, appearances often are deceiving, and be tolerant of differences, okay? So either choose one of those or write your own theme or moral. Go ahead and do that now. Yeah, just circle the star by it, check it, underline it. So pick a moral that you want to go with, or write your own moral. Yes, I remember I said it looks like this.
Where's the moral?
Oh, right, yours is in the bottom of that.
Yeah, what is it for?
Oh, we're writing your own moral. So,
Is there a PowerPoint?
yeah, this is a Google thing.
Is it on?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'll send it on Instagram. All right. So you should have selected a moral or written your own. Okay. Now you're going to choose 2 animals to be the main characters of your story. You can do people if you want to. You can write in names. It doesn't matter to me. So either choose 2 animals or choose 2 names you want to go with. Personally, I would do the dog and the lion. But a panda's really cute. A beaver. I saw an owl for the first time the other night.
Never seen an owl.
Not in light. I know what they look like, but in actual person.
Never seen an owl.
Yeah, it was really interesting. It's like a cat, in the tree.
Like
Seen
in
a
our
cat.
backyard.
Yeah, that's where
It
I
is
was
so
too.
Was it looking the other way and it just turned its head all the way around and stared straight at us?
It was hunting, so it was canvassing. It was very interesting.
Was it talking?
Yeah, it's
Yeah. No, I meant
was it making sounds?
yeah.
All right, bring it back real quick. 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. I'm just gonna explain, so you're good. Okay. So if you haven't yet chosen your animals or your people that you want to symbolize something else, remember that in an allegory, the characters and the entire story symbolizes something else. So it's not just the literal meaning; it's the symbolic meaning that you want to have, the moral. Okay. So you could either choose your animals. So Janessa, what animals did you choose? 4 people.
A giraffe and a panda.
Okay, so now Janessa is going to figure out, what does the giraffe symbolize in her allegory? We're going to be writing our own allegories really quick in the bottom, okay? So, what is the giraffe going to symbolize, and what is the other animal going to symbolize? If you chose a person or names, what are they going to symbolize? So, is anyone taking psychology right now?
I was.
Okay, Nathan. Have you learned about the id, the ego, and the superego? Okay, so those are different layers of meaning. If you wanted to do a World War II allegory, you could do Germany and United States as your meaning, okay? If you wanted to do this classroom, one could be Miss N and one could be you as the student. Does that make sense? So your animals or your people symbolize something greater than just what they are literally. Zayla, you can say that. Yes. You get to choose as many characters as you want, but you need to have at least 2.
And there's so much food, right?
As much as you want. You're writing a story.
Do we have to choose?
Nope, you can write your own.
Can I choose 3 animals?
Yeah, I just said that. You can choose as many as you want. I just want 2 minimum.
I'm sorry, it's not.
It's okay. I know. Nate. Okay, we'll go over it. Okay.
6 animals.
So, you guys will need more time to figure out, what they might symbolize. You're going to write your own allegory here. This could be a short little paragraph. Okay, it's not like a 3-page story like you just for your narrative. It's a quick idea so that I know that you understand what an allegory is. Does that make sense? Sure. Okay. So Janessa's what was your animals, Janessa? A giraffe and a what?
It was a panda, but now we can change it.
Okay, do you know what they're gonna symbolize yet?
Not yet.
Okay. So a giraffe and a panda, maybe What could it symbolize? Let's do this together really quick. Let's do, just to give you guys an idea of what you're supposed to do. No. All right. Shh. Someone give me a group of animals or names to go with. Let's see.
A rabbit and a lion.
A rabbit? Oh gosh. How do I always do that? A rabbit and a lion. Okay. So what do we want the rabbit to represent? Let's make up our own allegory as a class first. What could the rabbit represent? Let's think of the storyline. Let's make up a story in general, actually. Yeah.
Rabbit represent like maybe the poor, and the lion to be the rich, and the lions prey on the rabbits.
Okay, so the rabbits are poor and the lions are rich. Okay, so this represents the poor in society, and the lion represents the rich in society. Okay. Now, where could we go with this story? Erica?
It could represent the French Revolution.
Oh! Okay, so you could make this story about the French Revolution. You can let them eat cake. Cake. Okay?
What?
You guys don't know about the cake thing? Then don't get there in history.
I don't know.
No, not Rihanna's cake.
Oh.
So where could we go with this story? How could we make this an allegory so that it has an actual literal story and then there's a bigger meaning? Ryan, you were saying the rabbits what?
There are many more rabbits than the lions.
Okay.
And there's only like three like to 5 lions, and there's many more rabbits, so they could take over the lions.
Okay, so how is that an allegory though?
The lions bully the rabbits because they're poor, and then they get what's coming back.
So are you connecting this to the United States society? So let's connect it to U.S. just because not everyone knows about the French Revolution. So let's talk about U.S. society, okay? Is there an issue of poverty in the United States?
You can talk
Yes.
about, like, how the poor people used to have to go to war, but the rich people didn't because they would just pay their way out of it.
Oh, so this could be an allegory. So we could say that there was a world war, okay? And the rabbits were on the front line. So the rabbits were on the front line of the war, and the lions, we could say, were so like beautiful that they didn't have to go. Thanks, Obi. Okay. Sit down. All right. So our storyline so far is going to be that there were a lot of rabbits in this land, and there was a world war where the rabbits were on the front line, but the lions were so beautiful that they got out of it. Okay? Now you're going to continue to develop the story so that it represents how the poor in society often had to go to war while the rich were able to get out of it. Okay? Just like, you guys have heard of Muhammad Ali, the boxer, the greatest boxer of all time? He ditched the draft and wasn't put in jail. Okay? Why? He was famous, okay? If anyone else had dipped on the draft in Vietnam War, what do you think happened to them? They would have been put in jail, okay? So the privilege in society we can display through this story. I know the product's all in here. Does that make sense that we can make this an allegory? Can I have thumbs up if you understand where you're going, if you know what an allegory is, and you might not know where you're going with your story yet, but you understand what this is? Thumbs down if you're like, I got no clue what you're talking
I
about.
understand what it is.
Okay, cool. All right, so get to work. This is all you have to do for today. This is your pre-reading for Lord of the Flies tomorrow. Okay?
If you leave that, that's mine.
It's not yours.
Yeah, but that's not. I did the line.
That's fine. But don't do exactly what I did up here.